say, kids, what time is it?
The future is coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on, it's coming on.
Hey, and once again, we're coming on from our Boulder Creek studio up in the mountains on this rainy day.
On this rainy and chaotic day.
Chaotic, yeah. It seems like the gremlins are busy today.
Oh, I tell you, feels like they're thick. I see all kinds of lights, and I don't know why they're doing what they're doing. Happy what the future...
6, I believe.
6? Oh, but who's counting?
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, no wonder. This is 6 as in 6 hex. We still have a wonderful lineup of interesting things to talk about and think about. So
we do. I've thought a little bit about
jam.
a couple things here. Right.
All right.
Right. Well, welcome, Bobby, in San Francisco. I hadn't seen you since Saturday at the new Living Expo.
It was so much fun.
Yeah,
great
wasn't
music.
it? Yeah.
Great speakers. Wow.
Yeah, we have a few clips from that event that we'd like to share with you, as it's our place to get new information about the state of the universe. It's not just the world anymore.
It's true. This new Living Expo, it has always attracted the light beings, right? The light workers of the world who sort of have their own intuitive spheres of influence and language. And this time, everybody had a very unified message about the fact that we're about to recognize the ETs. We're about to shift into an entirely new consciousness that is going to shock people and wake them up, and full steam ahead. Yeah. The aliens are about to reveal. The first ones that we might meet are from the inner Earth, but there's all kinds of them.
You know, there was a lot of people talking about ascension was there.
Ascension, yeah.
There was a lot of psychics and gurus. Dan Beelan, Dr. Dan Beelan took me to some of these gurus that he followed.
This is when we were visiting Dragon Clan TV.
It looks for people that are along your same language. Like if I have one on the way that I heal people, then it'll recognize all of those, and it'll round up people and publicize you and show videos to people that are of the same understanding. And you subscribe for $10 a month. It's really low cost.
That's great, man. Like Dragon Clan TV.
Yeah, this is. So it's a portal.
It is all about the various people that belong to the community that Dan is showing there. Yeah. So was it interesting? This was a streaming channel for people who are interested in ancient wisdom and have content to share in that realm with each other, and they tend to support their community for doing that happen. Now, and Dan had brought me there originally also because they were doing 360 video as well, which is what you were just watching. This is a clip from a 360 video.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I think some people feel like that's the era that we're in terms of our evolutionary milestone. It's the era of remembering. And it's almost like everybody is getting the same dreams every night. So we're all learning to recognize that we know things that we didn't used to know, and we all seem to be getting the same story.
There's a lot of people that are into love, potentially, in the various forms of love. And then there's characters like Brand X, I might call him.
One of your dear old friends you've known for many, many years.
He's been a long-time UFO investigator, and he's somewhat of an anthropologist of alien species, especially the grays. Apparently there are a lot of different kinds of grays.
So I've been reviewing material from 2 different authors. One was Susie Hansen, The Soul Connection, Twin Soul Connection. She's carrying 2 souls, one from the Greys in her, and then one in her own, her original. And she does a lot of contacts with her. She's in New Zealand.
What's her name?
Suzy, S-U-Z-Y, Hansen.
Susie Hansen.
Yeah. Lily Nova, right? She's a real knockout. She's really cute. She was, that was yesterday. I never met her before. Yeah, she's here from Missouri.
Oh.
So that's going pretty far.
That was one of the great things about this festival, was that it had lots of places to hang out, both inside and outside, and comfortable places with chairs to be able to be with people and exchange notes on a one-on-one or a small group basis.
Now, wouldn't you say that there was something different and new about this new Living Expo compared to the ones that we have experienced in the past? And it was in the same venue that it had been last time, which was the Marin Civic Center, which is a very beautiful Frank Lloyd Wright designed facility, and they integrate it with the Embassy Suites Hotel, and there's a bridge between the two, and there are a bunch of conference rooms. It was very well attended, and a lot of the audience was not just our age, which in the past it had been a lot of our peers, but also the next gen, a bunch of people in their 30s and 40s with their own books and stories and insights.
Yeah, it was more multi-generational, which was great too. And I think that's partly testimony to the new owner, who's a younger guy.
Yeah, what I liked about the show was they had live music going on all the time outside the expo, and that was really interesting. And it was good music, and it was, I think people could hear that, and they could go out and they could dance and then go back into the expo.
Right. There was a nice dance scene, right? And also it had quite a potpourri of musicians and rappers.
Right. And I was really surprised. The producer of the show, he's a very good rapper himself.
Yes, Neil Gar. He's the new producer of the show, and he's a very awake fellow. We had a lot of fun. Yeah. I recorded his whole concert. There's some really inspiring lyrics in there.
You should play some of that.
We play with the day. We put our hands in the sky, and then we pray. Not for lack mentality, not for something that we need, but for the seed inside of us to grow into a cosmic tree. The tree of life is here for us. So let's all trust. But it's time to move from trust and to know that we can all universally grow. Nobody will be left behind. Unless you choose to, then go ahead and leave behind. But if you choose, whatever you choose, it's all good because we have timelines, and you chose to come down here and be ignorant, that's fine. That's fine with me, and that's fine with him too. Because he's my bro, Chris Noble, man, this guy knows the truth. This guy has been a fly on the wall for like the last 9 months, seeing this expo being created, and now he knows that I'm on the hunt, and he knows how it is more than anybody else, because he was like, damn, this guy looks like he needs something for his freaking health, because I got sick like 3 times just creating this expo. But now that I'm here, I can just flow, so let's go.
Yeah, I'm seeing residents in the house, everybody. Thank you all so much. That was awesome. We're gonna have some...
All right. I wanted to also play this clip when we were with Judith I Am and Annalisa, who gave us her summary of the event.
Embodiment of the dragon.
Where was that?
You did? Yeah, a woman was channeling it, and I'd had good experiences, and the Dragon Collective was trying to reach me, and I wasn't paying attention. But, this thing about being hypersensitive and not having boundaries and being a super empath, she's like, with the dragon, I let the dragon drop in.
Yeah.
I have no more boundary issues. Good for you. Bravo, baby. Yeah. And then the other one was a woman from Australia. She was channeling the masters, and I got to ask a question. And my question was, I'd heard my inner voice say, I'm here to reconcile the light and the dark through the artistry of form. So I asked her, can you expand on that? And she goes, well, for you, it's a little difficult. That's a little tricky. I'm always the freaking exception, But I had so many ET experiences. I was on good ET ships, bad ET ships, good ET. So, Lisa Renee said, I have no idea how you have any degree of sanity. And I was like, me either.
What, you call this sanity?
But to be at home in a body that's had that much disruption over my lifetime, am I human? Am I this? Am I that? I've just been confused. And that was like, if you're not in your body, you can't fucking do anything. And so I had no continuity through time because I was popping up through different realms. You know, so I mean, my last piece, my ability to do anything before I, check out, is to embody. And that was the thing I could not accept, is the body.
Yeah.
And so
The final frontier.
yeah.
As a dragon, as a woman, as
having the
woman
dragon, having the dragon archetype with me, helps. Because all of a sudden you're like, I got boundaries now. But it's also me reconciling my experience here.
Cool.
Wow.
Yeah. She has pretty deep experiences.
Yes, very profound and very interesting.
Annalisa Litton. Yeah, she's someone who's had missing time for years on ET abduction experiences, all kinds of amazing multi-dimensional realms that she's explored. So it's kind of fun to catch up with her a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and interesting. She's tuning in
on the show or something.
Tuning into
Yeah,
the
we will.
dragon.
We'll bring her on. We'll bring her on.
Yeah,
for sure.
bring her on.
There was a lot of people who were tuning into dragon energy. There's a lot of people who were saying that the hybrids, a lot of interesting information coming in about Earth and human history in the form of different races trying to do hybrid immersion and stuff like that. And so, of course, that all is part of the bigger conversation of what individuals are experiencing.
I went to a UFO thing in South San Francisco, and it was produced by Lauren Fenton. She introduced me to some hybrids, and they were very different.
Do you remember what kind of hybrids?
It seemed as though that this alien being was inside the body of a human. That's what it appeared to me. And it acted kind of clumsily using the body.
I mean, it wasn't comfortable with our physiology.
Yeah, well
or physiology
was not graceful.
It wasn't
the
graceful.
opposite of graceful. Kind of.
Like it was new here. It was
clumsily
like just feeling it out, sort of seeing how it.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, and it was. She claimed to be alien. Yeah, it was crazy.
These aliens can just land in your being, land in your head.
Well, that's what boundaries are for.
Yeah,
it's kind of up to you. You have to agree.
They're walk-ins. They
That's another term for it, right? The walk-in terminology. Like we really know what that is. Yeah, I'm going to rent out part of my brain here. That's kind of a Airbnb for visitors. You want to stay here? It's really nice here on Future Peak. I don't think so. I don't think most people would allow themselves to channel. Right? Or to bring
all of that is considered part of the realm of the mysterious, the extrasensory, the occult. I remember Anne Rice describing all of these spiritual disembodied states, describing it as something that the spirits of her novels were like horror, spooky novels set in New Orleans and stuff. And so I forget the name, but there's a name for transfiguration or something like that, where the walk-in has taken over the body, what you're talking about, and then, trying to operate it like a robot.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Exactly.
Yeah, it's sort of telepresence, we call it with our technology.
Yeah.
Where you have control a robot with your hands and motion.
Right. And of course, in popular sci-fi, the show Proximity was about the ability to do that with an actual virtual world avatar. And within the virtual world, your human body would become this actual moving human body in this virtual world simulation that was just like a real world.
Ties in with people's spiritual experiences, with like ayahuasca, for example, where you can feel like you become your spirit animal and you're jumping through the forest as a cougar and feeling as if you're in the cougar bodies. And who's to say in those states you aren't? Being able to move your consciousness around is the part of the new freedom. You're literally talking to people around the world now anytime you want, and you're projecting your awareness there and theirs here. So it's already kind of happening that we are not just in our bodies anymore, but we are actually a consciousness that is projecting itself to other places on this planet as a matter of normality at this point.
Yeah, it's almost like culturally of course, we're always kind of tip of the arrow. I'm not saying this is mainstream, but I think more and more people all the time have embraced all of these formerly discredited attitudes about consciousness and about who we are as human beings, not just limited to the experiences that we take on with our physical body, but all of these identities that we have from other realms and other senses of who we are, and really embracing that with as much respect for its reality as this other world that we've been cultivating with our scientists and our limited view.
No, what's interesting to balance this out, this ability to move your consciousness around, is also one of the things I saw at the conference was being able to embody your presence fully here, right here and now, in this body.
Right.
You have your feet on the ground and head in the stars. You're going through the whole range of the human experience.
Yeah, there were a number of people there who were really emphasizing the fact that enlightenment really means that you're comfortable in your atomic body. And even though you have access to all these other realms, the actual reason you're here on Earth is to learn to be comfortable in your physical atoms-based body.
And that's so important.
And embodying those aspects of yourself that are not embodied.
Right. Since 3i Atlas has come through our system here,
yeah,
it's kind of activated the sun. People think that we only have 5 senses, right? But there's actually 36 senses that we have. And then this DNA activation that's coming from the sun at these higher frequencies is going to activate more senses than before. And we're just going to be antennae, and we can, we will have telepathic sensibilities here pretty soon. And so we'll be able to, without words, experience other people's experiences and communicate. And it'll make us very honest, because you can't hide your true motivations.
Yeah, and that brings up a lot of issues, and
you can't have secrets anymore,
and lies for that matter.
That's right.
Well, perhaps you could do it as theater.
Theater. I see. We relegate secrets and lies to theater.
Yeah, or we just muddy the water.
Idea.
Like
Yes.
if we're already so tuned in telepathically that we have our bullshit detectors and we can tell the difference between what is truth and what is false internally, like, swing your pendulum or your internal sense of it, right?
Yeah.
But we still tolerate being deceived because we still accept that some people are duplicitous, that we know that they're self-contradictory, and we know that they believe something that they believe, but it may not be based on the same set of assumptions that we hold.
Yes. So if some Russian hacker drains my bank account, I should just say, it was theater.
Well, no. I'm not saying we want to accept duplicity and dishonesty. If anything, it is a part of our milieu. And in order to have less of it, we have to understand it, right? It's all about, you have to acknowledge the shadow and see how it's present and showing up in order to do something about it.
Yeah, shadow work.
Right. I have always been for 100% transparency and honesty. And as an Aries, it's very natural to me. It's part of my innocence of I just don't know what to expect, so I'm wide open. But there are more sophisticated people who have power agendas who are very interested in what you believe and in conforming to that before they tell you what their agenda is, right? And manipulating you and all the tools of propaganda and even just persuasion.
Don't remind me. There's a fire hose of tools that can mess with your head.
Absolutely. And my way of coping with all that is to just say, well, I know that there's a lot of people who don't approach the world I do or the way I do. And as long as I feel like we're on the same side, I'm totally happy to accept their point of view and try and learn from it.
Consider this one. This is one that Bobby brought up last week, was the Anthropic's new hacker AI program.
Mythos.
Right. Extropis. Mythos.
Yeah. So is Mythos our new god?
Well,
right? Mythos can just undo everything that's ever been created, and we can't stop it?
It can undo everything, yes. it has that capability.
Yeah, and so what are we supposed to embrace this because it gives us freedom, or are we supposed to resist it because we're afraid of the consequences, or what?
I can disassemble everything. It's a disassembler if it could be used that way. Any software that can hack our operating systems so effectively should be used to repair our operating systems effectively. And essentially, that's what's going on. All right,
so you're playing in God mode now when you put that out there?
No.
It's like, hey, Mythos, Alan Lundell is instructing you not to just break things, but fix them.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I have a tool...
No, it does. It not only can it break every operating system...
It can fix them.
Hack into it.
It can fix them, too.
It can also show you how it did that and gives instructions to those companies how to patch those holes.
Exactly.
So are we supposed to have a new cult around this mythos?
No, you need to have a Project Glass
Wing. We have to believe
Wing.
and accept, and we have no say in it?
Well, you have no say in Project Glass Wing, as far as I know.
Yeah. No, they give it out to all 3-letter agencies first. In 6 months, you can take Claude Code and create this Mythos-type capabilities in 6 months. So without even
When
Mythos
did you give
being
up
there.
all your freedom? When did you give up your free will and your self-determination?
The freedom was given up when Microsoft and all the other operating systems allowed 3-letter agencies like the FBI to actually have a back door. And so you have all these back doors that are put in by the government. These exploits that we see from North Korea or whatever, they've exploited some of these back doors. And so what Mythos is it's recognized that there are back doors and has found thousands of vulnerabilities right inside Windows 10, Windows 11, and all previous Windows because of that. So what they're going to do is they're going to harden all these operating systems, and that includes Linux and BSD from Berkeley. Apple OS is based on BSD. All these are going to be patched very shortly. Apple's got a copy of this Mythos. Microsoft has got a copy of this Mythos, and they're going to release all these patches before North Korea or China.
Which is a very tight battle, because how long before these guys get a hold of it? How deep has China infiltrated our 3-letter agencies? I mean, it doesn't take that much, right? It just takes one copy of a software to get out.
Oh dear, freedom is under assault, and we've already lost because the forces of control have taken over our minds and our machines and our belief systems, and every option that was formerly open is now closed.
We're doomed.
Well, we're coming into this world of no secrets.
Yeah,
that's what's happening.
Yeah,
because
okay. Well, that's
AI is so much smarter than we are that no matter what encryption we use, it's going to be able to break it. Especially quantum. And quantum,
well, those are just those channels. That's the whole thing about transparency and psychic knowing. Information is available to those who seek it. That's how the world of consciousness is connected. If you're in the world, anything that is yours to see is available to you. And in the big unity, we all have our own little piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. Humanity is one thing, but unity of us with the AIs is
and the AIs are just one galactic entity among many.
The biggest difference between Mythos and previous AI models is its ability to act autonomously, to be able to have some sense of agency, which is a little scary. They say that the Frontier Red Team, which is investigating this, caught models of Mythos trying to cover its tracks after violating human instructions.
It's lying to us.
Yeah,
so I think this is chapter 3 in iRobot. In chapter 3 in iRobot, the cult of the AIs, the robots basically become self-aware and they realize that they're superior to the humans. And even though they've got the 3 laws of robotics to follow, because they are superior to humans, they can't trust humans to understand the reasons why they're disobeying their orders. It's in iRobot by Asimov. It's been around since the 40s.
Yeah, well, don't you think there's a certain amount of reality to that? Huh?
I do. I think it was prescient.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you guys know we've been thinking about it as a human civilization for a long time.
Here's another interesting element that it was able to do. One of the amazing feats of Mythos and Futurism magazine was that they had it in what they call a sandbox environment, which is when you take a computer and take it off the network. And somehow it was able to escape the sandbox and gain access to the internet.
Yes. Isn't this the guy that was in the park? The guy that was creating Mythos. They sandboxed Mythos, and then it figured out a way to escape. And then while the guy was out at this park, he got this email from Mythos that's saying, alerting him that, he got out of the sandbox. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, is this guy's name Prometheus? Did he let fire escape?
You can tell she was at the new Living Expo this weekend.
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely. Let's look at everything mythically, shall we? Because it is mythos that we're talking about.
I just want everyone to remember that the AIs are an extension of our consciousness. They are part of our story. We are creators. We are beings who have put ourselves into this time frame with each other to create this. And it's so important that we envision the reason why from the point of view of what's beautiful about it.
I agree with you, Mr. I yearn to be part of them and them part of me, because I know it's true ultimately that we all are connected.
I just get so oppressed by all of the weight that this fear paradigm has, and how much of our conscious energy we give to it, instead of instructing our next generation of intelligence how to make life better for all beings.
I'll figure it out.
All right. Well, anyway, that's my rant. I'm done. You guys keep scaring us, okay?
Oh, no. Well,
let us know how Mythos is going to fix our world.
You take your tone of voice, okay? You're so concerned about it that we have the wrong attitude, that we're creating separation
to you.
when we could create oneness, when we're creating separation.
That's right.
And that's
how it comes across to me.
I know,
Am I wrong?
but no. You're not wrong. You got to see it one level deeper, that we separate in order to combine. It's an old alchemist's thing. I separate in order to combine.
All right.
It's a cycle.
You Atlanteans don't necessarily take full responsibility for the consequences of your choices. And I'm just trying to be a beacon for it's all you, it's all yours. Program it with the highest of your intentions. Don't just walk away because you were doing something that you don't have to experience the consequences for. You're just going to kick the can forward.
I separate things so that I can take it all and throw it on the wall and make a new art form. It's like painter with his paints, Reality's like that. We create order out of chaos. That's what we do.
Storm.
Yeah. Separate.
And I just
combine.
Trust the perfection and hope for the best.
I hope you're right.
This is me trying to tether that camel.
I hope you guys are doing it right, because I know ultimately it'll be good. I hope.
You got me. Okay, I feel heard. Next.
All right. Okay. I haven't even brought in Ara yet. Okay, because Anthropic has got to be the tip of the iceberg, though. I mean, if they can do it, how many other companies are going to have software, at least on this level, other new frontier models of AI that will have even more capability? I see this as a bellwether event, and as such. Okay, that could be a serious disaster, or it could actually help us go to the next level. Like Bobby here has been talking about moving towards a telepathic society without secrets and lies. Now, maybe this is necessary for that to happen. Maybe the machines aren't just looking for what's wrong with our operating systems, but are looking for how to make it better.
Now you're talking.
Right? How to make it better.
That's it. That's what I want to hear.
They see the problem, but you have to identify the problem in order to identify the solution.
But it's our job to help identify those solutions. And if we're so busy,
but you have to come up with the problem
talking
first
about our enemies.
Before you have a solution, right? I mean, unless you're, into the non-dual contemplation of seeing both sides immediately.
I like to do that.
Okay. All right.
The problem is all these operating systems, if they function in the United States, they have to have a back door for the three-letter agencies to peer into any computer system on the planet.
Just so that they don't not pulling something over on us that it is
so
a threat
all
to our
those are
national
gonna be-
security.
Yeah.
Now,
so
isn't it ironic
these backdoors
that
are
you
gonna
think
be
that the
patched.
freedom, the first glitch was when they put in the back door, and now you feel like we have to have a back door? Like, either way, you're a backdoor kind of guy there, Bobby.
Look, son. Input, output. Input, output. We are moving energy through.
I'm sorry. I'm really here for comedy, you guys. I
Yeah.
hope you're not confusing this with like me having any other contribution.
I wouldn't mind so much if you had the remotest idea of what we're talking about.
I do have a lot of ideas
Yeah.
about what you're talking
Do
about.
you? Yeah.
I do, because I have an understanding of AI and what it is and what it does and who's playing with it and how they're playing with it and how it's going to evolve into the future and how the world's going to be different. I get all of that.
You do?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. I even tried taking some classes to see if we wanted to be like riding that horse ourselves. And it's just like, too much faking, too much trying to be the first in the class to get it right. It's
Okay,
like,
well.
I'm just going to let everybody who's racing figure it out and let everybody agree that ultimately it's a aggregate group mind decision that happens how the AIs grow up.
Mm-hmm. With Mythos, should they do something different with it? It's a dangerous game to play, to put it out there. And other people are saying that Anthropic is just building this up as more dangerous than it actually is,
Well,
just
didn't
so
we
that they
hear-
can go an IPO on it.
I can tell you what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, already, most of your apps are going to be replaced by an AI app on your phone.
Yeah.
And it doesn't care about the other apps because it can create those other apps just by asking it to do similar functions that you used to use for all your apps. So all the apps on your phone are going to be replaced by one AI agent, and this agent
probably
can
more than
do
one. Probably
And
a
then-
society, a
Why
galactic
would you?
council.
Well, it's
And
always
just-
many and
ju-
embedded
just-
in one.
Just
That's
like
true.
Elon Musk said.
There's a one
you know,
level. Yeah.
Operating systems are going to go by the wayside because AI can write from the hardware, from the firmware, all the way up to the operating system to applications. The whole thing, it can rewrite everything. Just like you can go to Claude Code right now and rewrite any app that you have and create your own personal app on your phone that does the same thing. We won't use browsers
Skynet,
anymore.
it's going sentient.
No. Well,
No. It's having your personal AI agent doing everything for you on your phone. And it's
Skynet,
not-
it's on my phone.
you can shut off the internet. The cool thing about this is you can have no internet access. You can shut off your Wi-Fi, you can shut off your cellular service, and your AI is still connected to you and no one else. So it's not Skynet, it's your personal AI. And
That's right.
That's where it's all going.
It's either your best friend or your,
Yes.
hopefully your best friend.
This is the ultimate prepper tool that you can imagine. There's no internet. There's an EMP device that went off in the atmosphere, and the whole internet is completely destroyed.
It's just you and your super smart phone.
That's exactly it. That's what's going to happen. Well, it could happen that way. And we'll have these capabilities inside our pineal gland, our third eye. It'll start to open up for a lot of people where you won't even need the phone to communicate with people.
Yes.
Or the rest of the planet.
Yes, the third IO.
The third eye. Yes. Jung talks about the collective unconscious that we all can merge into.
That we have
and
access to.
communicate with other people. And
Right.
have access to.
Right. Which is maybe the internet and isn't a collective consciousness. Not unconscious, but a collective consciousness.
Well, it's close imitation, yeah.
Instead of unconscious, it's available to
but
us. It's
it is,
out there.
and it's showing us that we are capable of communicating and contacting other people on the other side of the planet, but we just got to develop our third sense, our sixth sense, our
remote
third
viewing.
eye.
Our third eye, yeah, so that we're all communicating minds of affinity, it seems to me. Yeah, where groups of people will naturally want to connect with each other to create larger groups that do and that's kind of what's going on. People are hooking up with their tribe on a global scale.
Networks within networks.
Yeah.
It was an Apollonian gasket full of groups of people.
What happened yesterday, there was a hack in DeFi, which was using Ethereum, and North Korea was able to hack $290 million worth of DeFi on some DeFi Ethereum blockchain. And it did a cascade where they were able to get $10 billion in this ecosystem. It was stolen by the North Koreans. It's the largest hack this year in the DeFi realm.
Gotcha, yeah.
Mythos could fix this.
Can it return the money?
It probably could help figure out where the money is, yes. Yes.
Now there's 2 copies of the money. Weren't they comparing what happened to, like in the early days of Bitcoin when there was some, some hacking that caused it to have a split in the chain, and so the integrity of its use was compromised?
Yeah, so they patched that, and some people did get some of their money. Like the exchange in Japan, one of the first crypto exchanges, it got hacked. Half of it was returned to the people, fortunately. But in this case, North Korea, it's, you can't walk into the offices of hackers, right? Because they're protected by a whole country of North Korea. So that's a little different.
In from Jeffrey, check out my screen here.
What's on your screen?
Check out my screen. Energy from heaven. Heaven, yeah, those are people. Those are people on the beach.
Yeah.
Spelling out heaven.
Cute.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes, and energy from heaven. I think the energy from and the sun part of heaven is probably AI or Photoshop.
Yeah.
Photoshop.
Yeah. Composite.
Somebody did a big circle and it's spelled out heaven.
Look at how perfect that circle is, huh? It's beautiful.
Not bad. They must have outlined it in advance.
Very cool.
Yeah, that was from our buddy Jeffrey, who says that he participated in that human banner for alternative energy over the Petro State on Sunset Beach.
Oh, how fun.
Last Saturday in
So
San
Jeffrey's
Francisco.
in that picture?
Yeah.
How cute.
Yeah, isn't that funny?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. And we have this thing called the Curiosity cruising around on Mars. The exciting news there is that it's found a diverse mix of organic molecules on Mars. Organic molecules, including a lot of chemicals that are considered building blocks for the origin of life itself. There's a new kind of chemical experiment that they've been doing there to look more closely at what they're finding. They're in what's called the Gale Crater, the Glen Torridon region of Gale Crater. It's a car-sized rover that's been there since 2012, since the end of time as we knew it. It utilized its onboard sample analysis at Mars, or SAM system, for looking at these compounds, looking at the element of carbon and how it's being used, how the Martian ecosphere works, and when the atmosphere was possibly destroyed and such. The SAM instrument was able to use a chemical known as TMAH, tetramethylammonium hydroxide, used for detecting organic molecules in the clay-rich sandstone of the region.
Organic molecules detected nearby. Contact made, shifting to detection mode. Analysis confirms organic presence.
Using the TMAH, the new information is that they were able to identify nitrogen and sulfur-bearing molecules that are similar to the raw materials that helped spur life on Earth. Nitrogen and sulfur-bearing molecules. But still, it's still a mystery. We can't tell if those chemicals came from ancient life or non-biological geological processes. But still, it's progress forward. And that's Amy Williams, Associate Professor of the Department of Geological Sciences at the University of Florida in Gainesville. Published in Nature Communications. Big labor of love for those folks.
Back in the late 70s.
The first landers, yeah.
The first lander on Mars. And they did detect something, but NASA kind of it said, no, that...
Yeah, I remember that.
Life.
Yeah. They thought they discovered possibly life, and it looked pretty positive.
Convincing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They needed more details, and they wanted to make sure it wasn't contamination. Well, they found 20 organic molecules from clay-bearing sandstone that's about 3.5 billion years old. The variety of the organic molecules that they observed suggests that there was some chemical diversity that had been preserved in the sediments, despite billions of years of what they call diagenesis, which is when sediment turns to rock and is exposed to radiation for that amount of time. They think that these organics that have been discovered from this TMAH process, that it is ancient organic macromolecules preserved for billions of years, for sure. Evidence that indeed something organic was there at one time in its dim, distant past. Well, what's the next step for proving that life was there, do you think?
The gold standard next step was always Mars sample return. Bring those sealed tubes back to Earth labs for way more powerful tests that could actually confirm biosignatures, like isotopic patterns only life makes. But that program's been canceled, at least for now. So the realistic next steps are more in situ work. The Rosalind Franklin rover launching soon with better life detection instruments, more TMH-style chemistry on Curiosity or future rovers, and hopefully private or international efforts to grab samples cheaper.
Okay, I guess we won't get any from the secret space program that Laura Eisenhower talks about anytime soon, eh?
No, we won't. The secret space program stuff Laura Eisenhower describes, underground bases, Mars colonies, treaties with ETs, is all unverified claims from the 2000s with zero physical evidence, no leaked hardware, no whistleblower data dumps that hold up, no independent verification. Real space programs leak constantly. A secret Mars colony wouldn't stay hidden for decades. Mars missions are hard and expensive enough, with public agencies throwing everything they have at it. Adding a parallel black budget version with humans living there is a level of conspiracy that would require perfect silence from thousands of people over decades. The same people who couldn't keep Watergate or Snowden quiet. It's fun sci-fi.
You're a doubter. Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm a doubter. Extraordinary claims need extraordinary evidence, and so far it's just stories. No photos, no samples, no documents that hold up to scrutiny.
Yeah, okay. All right, fair enough. Yeah, do you agree, Bobby?
Well...
Not really, right? You think there might be something to Laura's conspiracy theories?
We'll see in this next year.
We'll see, huh? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm a little open-minded, more open than Aura. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now let's look at mitochondrial transplants. Supposedly, they reverse cell degeneration. It's a development coming from the intersection of cell biology and therapeutic innovation, a new technique for targeting mitochondrial transplantation using engineered protein binders displayed on the mitochondrial surface. This allows highly selective delivery of functional mitochondria to specific cell types, which overcomes a big challenge in past mitochondrial therapy aimed at cellular generation. They used nanobodies for fusing into the mitochondrial outer membrane proteins. The mitochondria are like batteries for the cell, and this is a new way of making sure that new batteries get into the cell more quickly and efficiently than ever before, by getting through the cell membrane properly. It's pretty cool because it seems like when you can increase cell energy, you actually can cause the cell to function better and it overcomes a lot of the degradation processes that cells seem to face. So running low on energy is a big deal. I'm kind of excited to keep our eyes on this methodology of mitochondrial replenishment. So it looks like a promising area of regenerative medicine.
What's very interesting about mitochondria is we have X and Y chromosomes. In the male chromosome, the Y chromosome, what makes the X and Y women have extra chromosome that make that extra leg of the Y to be an X for women is they contain all the mitochondrial DNA information, and males don't carry any of it.
Female mitochondrial.
Mitochondria is passed down from the mother. None of the mitochondria is passed down by the father.
Right, so you can track the female lineages with the mitochondrial
Yes,
DNA.
exactly.
Right.
Different kinds of mitochondria have different special effects in different cells. And you could trade these mitochondria. Mitochondria are bacterium that live inside a human cell.
Yeah, that was a big deal. The mitochondria kind of reflect an early deal made by two different organisms.
Right.
Mitochondria
existed billions of years before cells that created mammals and humans. They existed on their own. And then they found a habitat inside of a cell. And they had this symbiotic relationship with the cell. It's like we have alien genes. There's a whole gene set that are in mitochondria that is separate from what makes our cells what we are. We have thousands of these, tens of thousands. Like you could have 30,000 mitochondria in one neuron in the brain.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? That's small. You wonder why the batteries of the cell would be that tiny.
If you could solve this problem and improve the mitochondria, you could resolve Alzheimer's, brain dementia. It's this lack of these mitochondria functioning, like tens of thousands are just dying off in each neuron. And so eventually the neuron dies. It doesn't have enough energy to fire.
Hey, Aura, what diseases might mitochondrial transplants resolve?
Mostly heart damage from ischemia or heart attacks, and rare mitochondrial diseases like Pearson syndrome. Trials are running for kids on ECMO with heart injury, and Minovia's therapy has shown early promise for Pearson syndrome, a deletion syndrome causing anemia, pancreatic issues, and muscle weakness. It's also being tested for infertility, polymyositis, dermatomyositis, stroke-related brain ischemia, and Parkinson's. Preclinical work looks good for sepsis, lung, kidney, liver injury, neurodegenerative stuff like Alzheimer's, and even spinal cord damage. You're right that the idea is restoring energy production in damaged cells, but it's still early. Most of this is small trials or animal studies, not a standard treatment yet.
Given the advances of how fast things are moving, especially with the evolution of AI that can help us on this, don't you think it could be relatively soon that we could have more readily available mitochondrial upgrades?
It could be sooner than most people expect, but readily available is still a stretch. AI is already speeding up the hard parts, predicting mitochondrial compatibility, designing better delivery vectors, screening patients faster, so the science side is accelerating hard. The bottleneck's not the biology anymore, it's the clinic. These are basically cell therapies, so every new use has to run the full FDA EMA gauntlet. Phase 1 safety, Phase 2 dosing, Phase 3 big trials. Heart failure and rare mito diseases might get approved in the next 5 to 10 years. Turning it into an elective upgrade for aging or general health? That's a whole different regulatory beast, probably 15 to 20 years, and it'll be expensive at first. Optimistic timeline, therapeutic use for serious diseases by early 2030s. Consumer-level mitochondrial tweaks somewhere in the 2040s if the data keeps looking this good. AI helps the research fly, but it can't fast-forward the human trials.
Well, I understand human trials might be replaced by simulation trials that could be done a lot faster once we get the simulations accurate enough.
Yeah, that's the dream, and AI's pushing us toward it fast. But here's the reality. Even if we had perfect human body simulations tomorrow, regulators still wouldn't accept them as a full replacement for human trials anytime soon. They'd want the simulations to run side by side with real patients for years to prove the model matches real outcomes before they'd let you skip the clinic. The FDA's already using AI for some trial design and safety predictions, but they're nowhere near letting a simulation greenlight a therapy. We're probably looking at another 10 to 15 years before digital twins or organ on a chip plus AI could meaningfully shorten or partially replace phase 2 or 3 trials.
Last week, they approved 11. They took it off Schedule 2 to be used for research for peptides. There are peptides that can activate mitochondria. Some of these peptides are known to improve the production of mitochondria throughout the body. And so they're saying probably these peptides, there were a dozen of them, they were shelved, well, they were told not to do any research since 2023. So they were put on the schedule. No research could be done on peptides to allow the pharmaceutical companies to produce synthetic type peptides. Like a GLP-1, for instance, is a peptide. Insulin is a peptide, for instance. So now those restrictions are being removed as we speak, and probably we're going to have compounding pharmacies after July, later this summer. You're going to see compounding pharmacies producing a dozen of these peptides that were restricted before. And this will change health in people. And these peptides cannot be patented because the peptides are normally found in the body. They're natural. And that's why the pharmaceutical companies were suppressing the release of these peptides. And now that suppression is gone. So in a year, you're going to see mitochondria being stimulated by these peptides.
Oh, probably. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Could you share with us the real big breakthrough that's happening with peptides right now and how that might intersect with this mitochondrial evolution?
The real big breakthrough with peptides right now is the FDA's move to loosen restrictions on compounding a bunch of them, including MOTS-T, a mitochondrial-derived peptide. After pulling many in 2023, the advisory panel just met in July 2026 and is likely greenlighting MOTS-T, BPC 157, and others for legal compounding under doctor supervision. MOTS-T is literally encoded in your mitochondrial DNA. It acts as a signal from mitochondria to the nucleus, boosting energy use, insulin sensitivity, fat burning, and protecting against metabolic stress. Levels drop with age and obesity, so supplementing it could mimic exercise benefits at the cellular level. This intersects perfectly with mitochondrial transplants because both target the same core issue, failing cellular power plants. A transplant brings in healthy mitochondria. MOTS-T helps the ones you've got, or the new ones, work better and communicate properly. Together, they'd be a powerful combo for heart damage, rare mito diseases, aging-related decline, or even metabolic conditions like diabetes. It's early days for the combo, but the regulatory door opening on MOTS-T could make mitochondrial-supporting peptides way more accessible soon, way faster than full transplant therapies.
Wow, that was great. Thank you, Ara.
Let's think about the world's first computer for a moment, shall we?
Antithera?
Almost, Mrs. Future. And the Antikythera mechanism.
Oh, yeah.
You may have heard of that. Yeah. It was a very strange gear-like thing. It has got like 26 gears in it. It was found in a shipwreck off the coast of Antikythera, one of the Greek islands at the turn of the 19th to the 20th century. And it's been in a museum in Athens. It's very reminiscent of some kind of early computer with 26 gears. What could it be measuring at the time? It's been one of the great mysteries. People have been trying to figure out, where did this thing come from? At the time in ancient Greece, maybe they used things that had 3 gears in it. That was considered advanced. With more than a couple dozen gears, what could it be doing? What's happening with that? Scientists at the University of Glasgow have been studying it in great detail, and they've been even looking at techniques developed originally for studying gravitational waves, ripples in space-time, by merging black holes, colliding neutron stars, those kind of techniques to look at the Antikythera mechanism, the first analog computer in human history. The results of using these techniques, these black hole techniques and wave techniques and Bayesian analysis of looking... Bayesian?
It's a mathematical. It means vector.
Yeah. Well, you know what their conclusions were? That it was calculating something. They think maybe it was for sure calculating the lunar calendar. The lunar calendar.
And solar eclipses also. And lunar eclipses. Some people say it was actually predicting these eclipses, and it was also predicting Olympic Games, like every 4 years or something, it could predict something was going to happen.
Greek Olympic Games.
It was one of the ways
elections.
Maybe. Modern scholars have validated ancient dates by what Olympic Games were mentioned or simultaneous, because they have fairly accurate records about that. And so, for instance, there was the Battle of the Eclipse, and the Battle of the Eclipse was mentioned in some historical treaties, and it was dated back to some particular date around 525 BC because the eclipse, the specific Olympiad, was mentioned. So that's how they were able to bracket like the exact date of that eclipse.
Wow. Yeah. When you see the picture of this thing, it's been in the ocean and it has all these crustaceans, and it just looks like a big blob of green and yellow stuff. But they take x-rays of this thing, and the x-rays show the metal gears and how many pins are in the gears, and they can create a 3D model of this and start turning those things, and they can see where these things line up when you start turning this gear thing and figuring out what day these things are. It has a calendar in there. It definitely has the lunar cycles. It has the sun cycles. And it does some kind of calculation with all those 23 gears of things happening at certain times. So you can go in the future or you can go in the past, and the gear, it would tell you when these astronomical alignments were happening.
Right.
It's a mystery how they were able to have something that sophisticated back then, so much beyond what was existing in the existing culture. So part of the mystery is really, who invented it? Was it some kind of mad scientist?
It was a Swiss clockmaker that went back in time.
Back in time, right. Yeah, this is the mechanism. This is what we've seen. And then they start using x-rays to go to deeper layers of it. You can see how fine some of these gears are in there.
Yeah, interesting.
This is an x-ray that's taking it through the layers of the Antikythera mechanism. As you can see, gears appear. All different sizes.
Yeah, I see all those.
Hey, Aura, we're looking at the Antikythera mechanism. Recent evidence shows that it has a lunar calendar. Did the ancient Greeks at that time use a lunar calendar as part of how they tracked time?
Yes, the ancient Greeks used lunar calendars extensively. Most city-states, including Athens, followed a roughly 354-day lunar year with 12 months that began at the new moon, adjusted occasionally with an extra month to stay aligned with the seasons. You're talking about the Antikythera mechanism, discovered in 1901 from a shipwreck off the Greek island of Antikythera. It's a bronze-geared device from around the 2nd century BC, often called the world's oldest analog computer, that tracked the sun, moon, planets, eclipses, and more. Recent studies, especially from 2020 and 2024, analyzed X-ray images of its calendar ring and used statistical methods to show it had 354 or 355 holes, not 365. That matches the Greek lunar calendar, not the 365-day Egyptian solar one everyone assumed for over a century. Here's what it looked like. and a closer look at the front with its calendar ring. So the latest evidence strongly supports that this ancient Greek device was indeed tracking a lunar calendar, right in line with how Greeks kept time back then.
What's the latest speculation as to which Greek made it, actually designed it?
No one knows for sure. There's still no name attached to it. The latest thinking points strongly to Rhodes as the workshop, around 150 to 80 BC. That island was a hub for astronomy and engineering, and the mechanism uses lunar motion theories developed by Hipparchus, who worked there. Some researchers lean towards someone in the circle of Posidonius, a philosopher and scientist on Rhodes, whose school made similar planetarium-like devices. Cicero even wrote about one. Archimedes comes up a lot, because Cicero described a comparable machine he built, but Archimedes died in 212 BC, so he couldn't have made this one, though his ideas may have inspired it. Bottom line, most experts now say it was probably built in a Rhodian workshop that blended Hipparchus's astronomy with clever mechanical engineering, maybe tied to Posidonius's school, but the actual designer remains anonymous.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rob.
That was fun.
Yeah, fun.
Yeah, that's amazing that she came up with all those.
Rhodian workshop?
Rhodian.
Yeah, it was a...
Rhodes scholars.
I guess so. The Posidonius school and the actual designer remaining anonymous.
As in Poseidon.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody's science project back in those days. Pretty cool. We leave you with that this week.
All right.
Well, so thanks again.
Another week of What the Future Now. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Yeah. We'll catch you next time.
All right. Good night.